Hello and welcome to Club 2, Episode 1 of Zero to Hero. Yes, welcome back to Club 2, Episode 1 of Zero to Hero. I'm Wes, and in today's episode we'll be taking on AFC Wimbledon and Sheffield Wednesday in League One. Now, since you were last with me in the last episode, you saw us take control of Exeter City after leaving Boston, our first club in Zero to Hero this year. And when we took control, we were rock bottom of League One. Since then, we've had a decent run of form, and we are now second from bottom in League One. We're only 3 points from safety, which is a lot better situation than what we were in. We were 6 points from safety. We've had a few decent results, some not so good results, but we seem to have hit a turning point in the league where we're starting to gain some momentum, and we've found a tactic that's working for us, and hopefully we can now start to climb the league table. Now, if we look back on the results we've had since we joined Exeter, in the last episode you saw us play Walsall again in the league. We drew 0-0 with them away from home in our first game. We then followed that up with another 0-0 draw against Southend away from home. Again, a decent result considering how poor the form was before we took control. We then managed to pick up our first win as Exeter manager, a 2-1 win at home against Mansfield. Jake Taylor and Max Clayton with the goals in that game. We then followed that up with a 1-1 draw at home against Cheltenham in the FA Cup third round. We were 1-0 up for 6 minutes in, and it was a 90th minute equaliser that forced a replay. Unfortunately, we followed that up with a 4-2 home defeat against Coventry. Jaden Stockley and Trevor Clark were the only goals for us in that game. We then lost 2-0 at home to Fleetwood, and then followed that up with a defeat in the replay against Cheltenham. We lost on penalties. It was 1-1 at full time, and then extra time saw no goals, so we went to penalties, and we only scored two of the 5 penalties. It's a shame, really, but at least now we can focus on getting out of the relegation zone in the league. We've managed to follow that up with a 3-1 away win against MK Dons. Trevor Clark and Riccar Pike with 2 goals in that game for us. We then lost 2-1 at home to Doncaster. Riccar Pike with the only goal in that game for us. And then in our last game, we managed to cause a massive upset against Ipswich Town, beating them 4-0 away from home. Charlie Good, Graham Burke, Mathias Kite and Riccar Pike with the goals for us in that game. And we have gone through the January transfer window, and there has been quite a few transfers. We've brought quite a few players in, and we're going to show you them now. We'll first have a look at the players that have left. Harim Boateng left for 500,000 to Millwall. He wanted to leave when we came into the club, so we managed to get as much money as we could for him, and 500,000 was his release fee. Pierce Sweeney's left the club on loan to Bradford for the rest of the season. Michael O'Connor's left to go to Forest Green for 2.1k. Theo Robinson left for Grimsby Town for 1.6k with an option of going to 1.9. Troy Brown also left for Grimsby Town on a free, and Foxy Bingo left for Scunthorpe for 23,500 with an option to rise to 25,000. We let Foxy Bingo go because we managed to bring a replacement in for him, which meant that we could let him go. Now, if we look at the players that we brought in Spencer Newbury on a free transfer. He's one that my head of youth development brought in. I think he's a youngster. Yeah, he's 17-year-old English right back. He's not going to be featuring for us in the first team anytime soon. But the first senior player that we brought in was Dong DeHay from Wolves for 41,000. He's a 20-year-old Chinese striker with 26 caps and 8 goals for China. He comes in with 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, and he's been at Wolves for the last couple of seasons, not made any appearances for them. He's made 1 appearance for us so far, didn't really play that well, but he's been playing in the under-23s and playing quite well, so he may be ready for first team action soon. We then brought in Jack Rolls from Leeds United on loan for the rest of the season. He's a 21-year-old Cypriot midfielder with 23 caps for Cyprus. He has 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He comes in as trying to bulk out the midfield, get some decent players in midfield. Brought in Charlie Good from Scunthorpe for 57k. He's a 25-year-old English centre-back. We needed some more centre-backs because the ones we had were struggling for fitness and weren't that good. He comes in as our 4th best centre-back. Mathias Kite, who you've seen, he scored a goal for us recently. He is a 22-year-old Estonian midfielder. Brought him in on loan from Fulham. He's made 40 caps for his country and 6 goals. He's got a 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's a central midfielder, can play as an attacking midfielder. We then brought in Connor Masterson from Liverpool on loan for the rest of the season, a 22-year-old Irish centre-back. He comes in as our best centre-back with 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's been capped at under 21 level for Ireland as well. Dan Lundulu is one for our youth system. Riccar Pike, we brought him in on loan. He's a 23-year-old English striker. Brought him in on loan from Huddersfield for the rest of the season. He's got a 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's come in and he's been an absolute revelation for us. Made 3 appearances in the league, 4 goals, 1 Player of the Match award, and an average rating of 7.93. He's been playing out of his skin since he came to us. We also managed to sign Burke from Ipswich for 58,000. He's a 27-year-old Irish midfielder. Can play as a winger, play anywhere in the midfield really. He can also play up front. He has a 3.5-star current ability and potential ability, and he comes in as our best winger, our best attacking midfielder, 2nd best left wing, advanced winger behind Trevor Clark, and 3rd best right winger behind the Cat and David Wheeler. We brought in Pyri Hanola from, I can't even pronounce the team he came from, but he's a 19-year-old Finnish central midfielder. He's one for the future, probably for next season. He was identified by my director of football as a decent player, so we brought him in. Ryan Haynes, we brought him in from Ipswich Town for 28,000. He's a 25-year-old English left back with 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential. He comes in as backup at left back for us. And finally, a deadline day signing, David Wheeler from Rotherham for 92,000. He's a 30-year-old English right winger. He has played for the club before, played for Exeter back in the, he left Exeter in 2017-18 season to go to QPR. He's played at Portsmouth at this level, and he's been playing in the Championship for QPR and Rotherham for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So he comes in with some decent experience, and hopefully he can. He's going to be a bit of backup rather than first team player, but we'll see how he gets on. So we're playing AFC Wimbledon, who currently sit in 16th place, and then we play Sheffield Wednesday, who currently sit in 18th place in the league. So these are teams that are in and around us really, and we need to be getting some results against these teams if we look to progress further in the league. We are underdogs. This is the tactic we're going with, though. It's the same tactic that we were using last season at Boston. We were playing the 4-2-3-1, but it wasn't really getting the results that we wanted. So I swapped out for this to see it's more of a 4-3-3, but a bit more attacking rather than the 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder that we have used in the past. But this system worked at Boston, and this is the system that got us the 4-0 win at Ipswich, so I'm hoping it can do us well in the matches to come. And this is the starting 11 we're going with for the first game against AFC Wimbledon. Gone with Pyme in goal, back 4 of Moxie, Good, Masterson and Edwards. Masterson and Edwards. A midfield 3 of Sutton, Kite and Taylor. Taylor and Sutton aren't my preferred midfielders, but we have had a few injuries and illness just recently, so they've come in as replacements. And a front 3 of Clark, Pike and Burke. On the bench we have Hammond, Dongdahay, Haynes, Stockley, McDonald, Wheeler and Moore Taylor. AFC Wimbledon going with a standard 4-4-2, so I'm hoping we can dominate that midfield a bit more. I'm going to be assertive and I'm going to say we can move out the relegation zone, and I'm going to say that I've got faith in the players with the individual team talk. And we're going to get out there and hopefully get a decent result. Moxie's a player that I brought up from the under-23s. He's a very experienced left back. He's 35 years old, but I brought him in as a bit of backup, and he's played really well, so he's kept his place in the team. We've got our first highlight of the game. Edwards with the ball in defence to Kite. Taylor now, back to Kite. Finds Sutton, plays the ball forward to Pike, but he can't quite get there. And now they've played the ball over the top, and they are 1-0 up. That is the only problem with this system. We are susceptible to balls over the top. And it was just a long ball forward. We play with a little bit of a higher line than we would normally. You know, most of the time it works. We're going to play shorter passing. That's what we want. As things stand, we will go back to the bottom of the league and be 4 points from safety. So we really need to be getting something out of this match. We do seem to be playing better away from home than we are at home at the moment. I don't know why that is. We haven't had a single shot so far, 30 minutes in, but we've just had 2 shots, neither of them worthy of a highlight. We haven't hit the target yet. Since the goal, there's been very few highlights in this game. I'm going to tell my players to show some passion, get them fired up, see if we can come out and get something before half time. Doesn't look like it though, because we're in stoppage time. We have got a highlight, but we're defending a corner, and that's 2-0. Goalkeeper caught in no man's land, really. He came for it, completely missed it, and it was just a free header for their midfielder. And that sees us go 2-0 down just before half time. It's disappointing, really. I'm going to say that I'm disappointed, and I want them to show me something different in the second half, and we'll get straight back into the second half. Hopefully get a couple of goals back. Nobody really playing very well in my team at the moment. Kite now with the ball to Taylor. Sutton now, back to Kite. Sutton again, passing it around nicely in the midfield. Moxie out on the wing, finds a cross, and Pike I think hit the bar. We have got a corner now. Taylor trying to find Masterson at the back post, but he can't quite get there. It's gone all the way over, and it's a throw-in to Wimbledon. But that's a bit more like it. We have been playing for set pieces. I have set up my set piece instructions for the team to try and make the most of the players that we've got in terms of heading ability and height and things like that. Both defending and attacking set pieces. We're 60 minutes in. I'm going to make the first batch of changes though. David Wheeler's going to come on for Burke because he's not played at all well. We're going to play him as his preferred winger on attack. Who else? Riccar Pike not having the best of games. This is the first time he's really not played well since coming to us. And I'm going to keep him on because I know what he's capable. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to bring Dong Hay on, because he's been scoring quite frequently in the under-23s. So I'm going to give him his chance in the first team, see if he can grab a goal for us. I'm going to tell my players to get creative, and we're going to go on attacking now. Because the way I see it at the moment, we've got nothing to lose. As things stand, we'll be 6 points clear, 6 points adrift of safety once again. So we'll be right back in the position we started in at Exeter, which isn't where I want to be, especially at this stage of the season. We haven't got long left to save Exeter. Last change. I mean, Trevor Clark's not playing well, but we haven't got anybody. I suppose Ryan Haynes can play there, or maybe we can swap him and Moxie around. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Get Moxie to play further up. 8 minutes left, and we've got another highlight. Haynes with the ball to good. Sutton now. Moxie. What can he do? Kite to Taylor. Trying to find Wheeler, but he can't quite get there. Haynes wins the ball back in defence though. Sutton to Kite. Back to Haynes on the wing. Can he find a cross to Dong Hay? He does, but he hits the bar. So unlucky for him. That would have been his first goal for the club. I'm going to tell my players to show some passion. We're going to go very attacking now. That's fired them up. We're defending though, and that was nearly 3-0. We've only got stoppage time left. Can we at least grab one goal? I don't think we are. This is just going to be winding down the clock. That is full time. We have lost 2-0. Unfortunate, really. We didn't play well, so it wasn't really that unfortunate. I'm going to be assertive. I'm going to say I'm disappointed with that performance. and I'm hoping that we can get a better result in the next game of the episode against Sheffield Wednesday. Just going to have a quick look to see how they got on in their game. Sheffield Wednesday lost to Bristol Rovers, so they've moved down to 19th. We're 5 points adrift of Notts County in 20th, so we need to be winning to get back in touch with them. So we'll join you when we're ready for the Sheffield Wednesday game.